YouTube, what is up? It's Shady. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty cool. I finally hit AR40 here on my main account, so I'm pretty stoked about that. We've been chest hunting all week here in League Away, so if you guys tune to the stream at all, then you guys know it's been an absolute nightmare. But now that we're finally here and we reached our goal, I just want to sit back and talk to you guys, bring you up to speed, and make sure that everybody is ready for what's coming ahead here at AR40, prepping for the future. And if you're not, I'm telling you guys have a lot in store for you. So stay tuned here till the end. We'll go through all the details. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So AR40, everyone says let's just brush the AR40, let's just brush the AR40, right? We need that juicy legendary loot. And like, yeah, that's good, man. The legendary loot is dope, and I fully think that I need it too. So we were on the grind. I was doing everything I could to get here, and now that I'm finally here, I'm like, wow. I don't know if we were fully ready. I mean, I came with a level 70 out of 70 D-Loop, ready to take home to 80, ready to take my Wolf Gravestone to 80. So I thought I was ready, guys. And we've been prepping. I've been spending my resources diligently and spreading them thin. Everything's been looking good up until this point. So we're like, we're doing great. I'm going to go in. Things are going to be good. So I was wrong. Completely wrong. The domain spike is insane. And I mean insane. It is insane, guys. I geared for a domain and my buddy was like, yeah, just go try it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to slap any domain. I'm level 80, everything. We're chilling. Max talents. Well, I had level 5 talents. Max weapon. Max level 80. We were chilling, guys, like, right? Well, I didn't take my D-Loop to 80. He was 70 out of 80, but the boost was perfect. It was like only going to be an extra 16 attack or something to level him up. So I was like, he's chilling. And we got clapped out of this dungeon, guys, multiple times. I'm going to put some clips here in the video. It was brutal. I thought we were ready. I'll show you guys some of my artifacts and where we're at. I can't believe it. We just got fully clapped out. It's not just about my character, it's about the debuffs that they put on you, and they're level 80. It's brutal. It's brutal. So just be prepared for that. The world level is really high. I mean, the loot is good. You get good more, and I know we're all starving for more at this point, but I'm telling you guys, the world level gets insane too. Co-op is extremely recommended, like in dungeons, out in the world. It's just, you're gonna want to be with a friend. Make friends. If you guys need a friend, add me here. I'll put my UIDs at the bottom. Add me. I could use some friends. I'm trying to steal everyone's resources here for essential material too. So add me as a friend here, and we'll farm out some mats. So are you guys ready for that jump in difficulty? The level 72 world bosses. Domains are really, the gap in domains is just insane. And then you have the overworld, just fighting regular elites and mages. It's brutal, and you have to make sure you're well equipped for that. The benefits to AR40, are they actually worth the rush? We can go over the actual benefits here. To me, the best benefits of getting AR40, you get a 33, it's about roughly a 33% drop rate in legendaries. You get an increased loot drop in the overworlds, access to more per completion on quests and kills, and that's a big one for me. Access to weekly drop boss talent upgrades, and I guess that's really good. When you get past level 6 talent upgrades, you need a specific material from the weekly boss, and you're going to want to start farming that as early as possible, because there's multiple ones that can drop, and it's specific to a character, so that's gonna suck. That part really does suck. But for the most part, I think that level 6 talents are good. That's the one thing that you're gonna kind of want to rush the AR40 for, but I think everything else is not really worth the rush. There were some things that I could have done a little bit more optimally before I was here. So if you take a look at the talent domains, you can't start farming the legendary, like the yellow books, until AR45. So which means there's 5 levels of downtime where essentially if you didn't farm talents, you're behind now, because instead of farming artifacts where you could be getting a chance at a legendary drop, you're still trying to upgrade your character's power level with talents, and talents are arguably the most important upgrade in the game. So if you're not upgrading your talents right now, you're not in a good spot. I would take a look at all my characters that I'm using and level their talents. That's very important. Supports, DPSs, all the main core users of my team need to have their talents upgraded. And that's something I'm working on right now with my primary and secondary DPS. I just maxed Diluc out today, except Yellow Books, and Razor's next today. So those are things I'm working on. And I'm slacking on Venti. I'm slacking on a couple of things that I'm not really happy about. So I want to make sure that you guys, I can reach out to you guys and make sure that you guys are ahead of the curve here. So how are we going to deal with this spike, guys? You know, with the crazy elite bosses and domains that we're getting clapped out of, we need to make sure that we come prepared. And how's the best that we can do that? Well, it is to efficiently level our characters the best way possible. And what I mean is invest into those deeps. Invest into your clickers, man. If your clickers aren't fully invested into, then you're really slacking. I already talked about talents. You want to make sure you're getting your character level up. You want to make sure you're getting your weapon level up, and make sure you can afford it. Don't put too many resources into too many characters. Find that 1 or 2 characters that you really like, especially if you're free to play, and bump them characters up. Make them really effective for your team, and that's going to help you in the long run here, especially for these longer levels where co-op is recommended. I'm telling you guys, it gets really insane. Like in the overworld, you can kind of do whatever you want. It still gets really bad if you don't bring the right elements, depending on how many bosses you're fighting or if you're juggling different types of enemies. But for the most part in the overworld, I like to just have fun. I can bring different enemies, team build. It's not that big of a deal. But if you're looking to do endgame domains, elite bosses, and Abyss, you're gonna want to have 2 teams and rotating teams with elements. So depending on what you're gonna want to do is going to be how you want to look towards your situation past AR40. I would definitely recommend making sure that your first party is really good to go. My Diluc's 80. I'm going to try and have a team behind them of 70 characters and spread that as well as I can into the second party. Mora management is really important up here, guys. I just want to cover it a little bit. If you're free to play, I have not done one ley line for gold unless it was achievement based, like in the book. But so far, I think I've done like 26 ley lines total where I've grabbed the rewards. Most of them were for books. I have not done any for gold. So I've done a lot of Mora management farming. My buddy has artifact farming routes, and I don't do them as much as I should. And I also have, you know, I do my dailies. I do everything I can to get as much more as possible, and then I hoard it. Buy the battle pass. Buy the battle pass. So like you need more, and like spend your more as efficiently as possible. You're gonna be broke. Make sure you're spending that money on characters that matter. Save it up. Do everything you can to scrounge more together. I can go over a list of stuff in a later video, but you're gonna want to make sure that you can stockpile as much as possible for character development. We went over talents, so that's pretty much everything for how we can spike our characters up to the point to be able to deal with AR40. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about tips for getting 40 faster, because I know there's a crazy wall there. I was going to make a video from 30 to 40 about the wall itself, so I guess this is just a good time to cover things that you can do to jump that wall. And one of those things is just effectively play. Make sure you're playing effectively every time you get on the game, right? So you log on, you see 120 resin, you spend resin. You never sit on full resin. That's really important. And then you wanna, I chest farm a lot. Chest farming is free AR. If you haven't done all your shrines, make sure you're doing your shrines. If you haven't done all your character missions, make sure you do your character missions. There's world quests. I think there's 48 world quests or 44. Make sure you do them all. Make sure you've hit every domain, every shrine. If you haven't done your geos yet and your Animoculus, you're missing out on 450 adventure rank, a 5-star artifact, and 3 chests inside, I believe. You're slacking, guys. That's AR on the table, so you don't want to leave AR on the table. There's over 1,500 chests out in the world. If you really want AR, there is means to get it. Before I was spending resin, like 50 resin here on refills, and I still think that's value. There's value in it. But you can get so much AR from chest hunting. It is insane, guys. I encourage you guys to just take a look at a map and look at some of the chests if you're behind. If your chest doesn't say, if you haven't got the achievements for the chest at least, you're missing out on so much AR. So that's a really good tip for just coasting by. And besides that, just don't rush it, guys. Do your dailies, take your time, and make sure you're prepped for all the things that you're gonna need for when you get to 40. Again, your talents, weapons, essential material upgrades, everything that you're gonna need to really boost your characters to the next level, because things are gonna get really insane and you want to make sure that you're prepped. I'm already prepping for AR-45 and I just hit AR-40 today, so just gotta keep your wheels turning and grind and think ahead in the future, and everything will be fine for when you do get to that point. So if you're AR-40 now and you're looking about like what is your end game, the best thing you should think about is like what kind of player you are. If you're looking towards Abyss like I am, then you should really start focusing on having 2 DPSs, like one in your first team, one in your second team, and fully invested into. For example, I have Razor and I have D-Luke, and I plan on putting everything I can into those 2 characters, and then having a healer to support them and 2 alternating supports based off elements. You guys should path kind of the same way: 2 DPSs, 2 healers, supports for your team. And you don't need to level every support if you're looking for Abyss. You need shield breakers, but levels do start to become important. Like right now I'm struggling on floor 8-2, and I think that levels might make the difference. I'm going to try and pump Razor up to 80, and I think that might make or break the floor. We're going to have to see. You guys can stay tuned and find out. But you just have to prep for the future, guys. I've spent an hour and a half looking at my team and thinking about ways I'm going to look at Abyss and if these resources are worth leveling into this character just for 1 floor of Abyss, and if I'm going to use them in the overworld. And you just have to see if your value that you're getting out of your resources is really worth what you're dumping into your character, because resources are so limited in this game. Thanks, Mihoya. So stay ahead of the curve, guys. Prep for 5 levels ahead. Get those talent upgrades leveled up, because if not, you're behind. And you guys will be good to go. I wanted to cover one more thing in this video, and that's just that I'm not sure if I should save my resin till AR-45. So at AR-45, now you're supposed to get an increased rate for artifact drops, right? And I'm like, well, damn, it's an increased rate for artifact drops now. And I have all this fragile resin I saved up, so much patience and, you know, diligence just to have to wait till 45. And then somebody's going to come around at 50 and say that the best time to save them is for 50. So, I don't know. I heard around AR-45 that you get about a 50% drop rate on legendaries. So, if you guys think that holding out for AR-45 is worth it, don't spend as much resin, enjoy the grind, be patient, and just make sure all your characters are good. There's a whole nother update coming out, so maybe you have some more content to explore that'll give us some free AR. I'm not sure how the reputation system will work too much yet, so I'm looking forward to some of the updates that are coming in. Maybe you don't have to rush through, and maybe you're like me and you want to just push through everything as fast as possible. Regardless, you know, just keep your eyes on the vision, if you know, and play towards your end game. And with that being said, I hope this was insightful. I will catch you guys in the next video. Much love, and as always, much.